Hi everyone, this video is on section 12.5, circles in the coordinate plane. So we're going to be talking about part of the chapter, part of the section, not the whole thing, but mainly how to write the equation of a circle using what's called center radius form. So my suggestion to you guys would be to copy all of the notes and examples, so pause if you need more time to copy, and then try the homework problems that are listed at the end. Okay, since we didn't have class today. So the center radius equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. When you have this written, h is really the x coordinate of the center. And k is the y coordinate of the center. Okay, r, as usual, stands for the radius. So if we have a problem that looks like this, and we're going to see a few different types in this video, it says to write an equation based on the center and the radius. So we know that the center is -3, 1, and the radius is 7. That basically means we have all the variables we need. X and y are going to stay in our equation, just like when we write the equation of a line, x and y stay in those. So we know that h is -3, k is 1, and r is 7. So it's literally just a matter of taking those values and plugging them in. And on Monday we'll talk about why we're actually doing this and how to graph these circles. So if I plug in for h there, and the same for y, we just have to take a look at it in the end and decide, can we simplify this a little bit? So hopefully we know that in the first set of parentheses, x minus -3 squared, that's really the same as x plus 3 squared. So we want to copy that. And y minus 1 can stay. And I'm going to just change the 7 squared to 49. Once it's in this form, this has been simplified. We're not going to expand the binomials. We're just going to leave it as is for right now. One thing you might notice, and I want you to draw these connections, if we look at the x-coordinate of the center, it's -3, but the value next to x in the equation is a +3. It's the opposite value. So the y-coordinate of the center is +1, but in our equation, it's -1. So with that being said, if you know and understand that connection, that everything's just going to end up being the opposite, you don't have to show this first line of work here. You would just need to show this piece here being your final answer. So if we take a look at a second one, the center is 7, -3, and the radius is 4. Well, this has got to be a -7 in the equation then. This has got to be a +3 now. And this would be 16. Finally, for the last example of this type, and again, pause if you need more time to copy, or feel free to rewind to revisit something. If the center is 0, 0, let's think about what's going to happen when we plug that in. It's going to be x minus 0 squared. Well, if we subtract 0 from anything, it's just going to be the original value. So this is just going to look like x squared plus y squared equals 25, because those the zeros, are going to simplify so that we're just left with x and y. For type 2, now we are given the equation and we want to identify the center and the radius. So I would copy maybe one of these down. If you don't want to copy all of the multiple choice answers, at least copy the problem and the answer that's correct. So if we look at the first one on the left, it says what's the coordinates of the center of the circle, represented by the equation x plus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared is 25. So basically now we're going to work backwards. If this is a +3, we know we need a -3. So that's going to take out answer choices 1 and 2. If this is a negative 4, we know we need a positive 4. So choice 4 goes away, and 3 is our answer. Okay. See if you guys on your own can figure out the answer to the second one on the right-hand side, and we'll go over that answer Monday. Okay, the third type of problem relating to writing the equation of a circle is if we're given the center and also a point that the circle passes through. We're going to take out this last piece over here. So basically a point that's on the border of the circle. So an example would look like this. What is the equation of a circle with its center at negative 1, 2, and it passes through the point 1, 2? So hopefully we can agree from the first couple types that it would start out looking like this: x plus 1 squared plus y minus 2 squared. The only thing we have left to do is figure out what the radius is. We always need the center and the radius in order to put it in this form. So we know what the middle point of the circle is, right? So imagine here's a circle. We know the center. And we know some point on the circle. So this distance in between is the radius. So with that being said, in order to figure out what the radius is, we're going to use the distance formula. So the distance formula is in the big radical symbol. Subtract the x's squared plus subtract the y squared. If I take a look at my x's, when I subtract 1 and negative 1, I get 2. When I subtract 2 and 2, I get 0. So when I substitute that in, it will look like this. Which will give me the square root of 4. And then that becomes 2, so my radius is 2. So now I can take this value of 2, plug it in for r, and basically change what I have over here. So if r is 2, r squared is 4, and now I have the answer to the problem. Okay, one last type is finding the equation of the circle from a graph. Now I mentioned before you need the center and the radius in order to write the equation. So what we're going to do just for these is kind of look at the circle and just eyeball where we think the center is. For instance, in number 1, I'm going to say the center is right there, and the coordinates of that center then are negative 3, 2. Now remember, the radius is the distance from the center to any endpoint. So if I count the boxes, whether it's up, down, left, or right, my radius comes out to 2 in this problem. Now very quickly I was able to get the center and the radius, so I can plug it into the equation. And that would be the equation of the circle found from a graph. So I want you guys to try number 2 as well. Again, pause if you need more time to copy anything, especially the graphs. Okay, and then we'll go over the answer to number 2 in class on Monday as well. Okay, so in addition to taking the notes from the video from in class today, since you had the concert, the homework is page 801, 8 to 36 evens. It's a variety of problems based on the 4 types that we've talked about. And then also some other notes. The Chapter 12 test will be Friday, May 1st. And the test 2 multiple choice in the green book will be due Monday, May 4th. Okay, please have the homework and the video notes done by Monday, and I'll see you guys then.